Hello everyone, thanks for tuning to KT Garage. In this special episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and who KT is and why is he always working on the cars. So let's dial back a little bit. I was born and raised in Vietnam. We moved to the US when I was about 15 years old. And of course, back in the day, we came here with basically nothing, because me and my mom, we didn't speak any English and we didn't have any money. We migrated here, and I believe the first couple months, my mother found a full-time job working at the school, and I went to high school, and I had to work like 30 hours a week to just support the family, just put food on the table and roof over our heads, but I always have passion for cars. I love cars. Anything has to do with cars, I love it. And I remember I asked my mother if I can spend $300 on a Ford Mustang. It was a 78 Ford Mustang, one of those things that looked like the Pinto. I love that car, so I started rebuilding the car. I didn't know anything about it, and I read a lot of manuals. Back in the day, there's no internet, of course there's no YouTube, so I learned everything the hard way, and after a couple of years I got the car on the road, and my high school buddies really impressed with what I can do, with my bare hands and limited amount of tools and money. So I pushed myself real hard through school, and I went to engineering school, got my bachelor degree in engineering. I went and worked for a couple of years, and then I went back and got my master's in engineering. So then that's when I met my wife, and we met through school as well. She's a mechanical engineer as well, so she well understood my passion on cars and who I am and the way that I do things. So she understands that I need to be doing something, otherwise it'll drive me crazy. And so I have to give a shout out to my wife for all support, over the years, and she let me do what I always wanted to do, which is working on the cars. So I gradually, restore one car after the next, and it leads to the project that I worked on today. It just, it's nonstop. I remember back then when we have our first kid. That was my son, the son that I started the Walk with. And when my wife told me, said, "Hey, I know you love working on the cars, but you need to stop for a little while. We have our first baby. We need to take care of him. Like I love my son and I love having a family, so I'm gonna stop. But but I always wanted to do a little bit of something here and there. Back then I think I had a 94 Ford Mustang that I was working on. And back then I was crazy about stereo systems, so I was doing stereo competitions. And the one day, I think a couple months in, when our son was born, I really couldn't help myself. So I think we lived in New York at the time, and my wife was upstairs with my son sleeping, and so she asked her to go downstairs to get the milk or whatever. And so I really couldn't help myself. I actually went to the garage. I needed to paint something at the time, and so I got the part, and I'm like, well, what's the best place to paint it, just so she doesn't know that I actually do the painting, because she walk out the garage, she smell the paint, she's gonna give me hell, right? So I'm like, let me just go down to the basement and paint there, because she never get down there. And that was a critical error, by the way. The basement, that's where the intake is for the heat system. So immediately after I painted it, she can smell it from the ventilation system. And she told me that she knew what I was doing, and of course, she understood. I really appreciate that. But I got busted many times, telling her that I would not work on a car, but I actually did. And that story goes on. I mean, she know my shenanigans about cars, and she totally understand and support me on it. And yeah, so that's to have a passion like this, you really need to have a partner that really understand your passion and support you with it. Otherwise you're never gonna make it. And I really appreciate all of my wife supporting me throughout the years of the project. Now, for myself, it definitely is a challenge. You come to a country with nothing, and you have to be on your own, and you got to go and get it. And it is extremely hard. This country is full of opportunity, but you really have to go and ask for it. You have to go after it. If you don't, nobody's going to give it to you. So with that attitude, I was able to find a great job. And I think about 13, 14 years ago, I was promoted into an engineering manager, which was a great position to be in. And during the years, I believe I have over 20 United States patents, and probably over 50 patents worldwide on oil drilling tools. So I'm a very technical guy. I love invention. I love designing new things, and that's the story of how I came up with this Warthog design. Originally, I wanted to build something cool, but I love the Warthog, but I really don't want to steal the idea of the Warthog, verbatim. I want to do something on my own. It's not cool to steal people's ideas, but you can be inspired by something, and you just need to make something different. So yeah, so that's how the Warthog was designed and built. And every day I come out here, I just enjoy working on these cars, and it's therapeutic for me. I really felt like if there's a day that I don't work on the cars because of other responsibility, commitments, whatever, I do feel a little bit stressed that things are not getting done. That's the drive that I have, and that's why I'm always out here doing something. And so you're gonna see regular updates on this car, because that's who I am. That's something that I can just stop working. Now, if I go and sit down on the couch and watching TV or whatever, my wife would come over and ask what's wrong. I normally don't do that during the day. Now at night, downtime, when everything is done, I crack a beer or two and I sit and relax. That's when I catch up with social media, watching a show or two, and then I'll go to sleep. But during the day, I believe I never sit down on the couch pretty much my entire life. I just don't sit down on the couch and watch TV during the day. Downtime is different, but yeah, so that's how I got a lot of things done, guys. Over the years I restored over 10 cars, and then I turn around and sell them. I made quite a bit of money every time I flip the cars and gain those money, and then I keep buying more and more and restore more. So I actually don't spend a whole lot of money with this hobby. I actually make money with this hobby, so it's not too bad. And that's something that I can convince my wife that I'm not out here just spending money. I'm actually making it as I work on cars. And of course, if something go wrong with the car, any car in the family, I would fix them. I hardly would take any of our cars to the dealer or somewhere to get it fixed. So that's the incentive for knowing how car works and helping out with the family. So yeah, no, that's me. That's pretty much why I am who I am, and I'm out here working on these cars because I enjoy it. I love working on it. It's relaxation for me. So that's about it, guys. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know you want to watch the progress of the walk hog. So I'm gonna stop recording this, and we'll go back and work on the cars again. You can see that I got a lot of body fillers on the car already. Now I'm just gonna I'm just taking a little break right now, and then I'm gonna go back and get the other side done. I'm gonna sand everything down. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in to KT Garage. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.